welcome back. Uh, for many um, in the U.S., I'm pretty sure most of those schools start back in August. Where I am in Ontario, our schools start in September. That means kids are going to be going back to school. Um, and that means they're going to be more vulnerable to dog attacks. Let's say let's say um, you don't own a dog in your house. You're not a dog owner in your house, and you go to school. Um, I think knowing that. Okay, I'm trying to rephrase that a little better. I think that children, in a way, in some way, that children are more vulnerable of dog attacks once school starts. Um, Not taking anything away from them being vulnerable at home or just being in the community, but in school, you basically have your guard down. At home, you may have your parents there. You can, depending on the age and the type of person, you can carry a weapon without there being any type of problem, but you can't carry a weapon to school. When you're home, you have places where you can probably run to if there's a dog in the community. But when you're in school, uh, in a way, it's limited because the students, they can't just leave the property and run somewhere else. They have to stay on the property. Chances are their playground is very big and they cannot get back into the building in time. Then we have parents before and after school bring their dogs into the drop off for school. Um, you also have children walking home or walking to school where they can be vulnerable. Now, when you're walking to school, depending on where you live, and it's going to be a lot harder to get away from dogs because you get to school, chances are the doors are closed. Where are you going to run to? How are you going to get to safety when there's a loose dog? Chances are you get to school, there are no teachers out. There's no guardians. No one's out to help you. So I think, in a way, children or students are more vulnerable, more, they have their guards down more when they're at school compared to being in the community or being at home. No doubt more attacks do happen at home uh, and in the community versus school, but when you look at it from a different perspective, the students' guards are completely down. They're not worried about dogs attacking. That's not crossing their minds. That's not crossing their minds that they're gonna get attacked by a dog. All's on their mind is they're gonna play, and dogs don't cross their minds. But when you're at home in the community, you hear dogs, you see them. Um, you're more vulnerable. You're more alert in the community and at home when it comes to dogs. Many people, children, students, will think school is the safe haven, which in a way it is. It can be. But when there's a lot of dogs around, dog nutters, pit bulls around, loose pit bulls, the school can make it a lot easier for children to get attacked by dogs. And I want to go over, I guess, self-defense of against dogs for children. I just want to read just how ridiculous it is and if I agree or disagree with the things that they're saying. In this article, it says how to protect yourself during a stray dog attack. They say, stay calm and avoid eye contact. Okay, when a dog wants to attack you, you staying calm, avoiding eye contact doesn't mean anything. Sometimes a dog sees you, you don't see the dog is still going to attack you. So it doesn't matter if you're staying calm. You can ask permission to the owner, can I pet your worthless mutt? And in a calm manner, the owner is going to say yes, but you can still get attacked. We've read many, many stories about this for children asking permission, even when they're with their own parent. The dog's on a leash, they ask permission, the owner says yes, and then the dog still attacks. Back away slowly. Either way, you're done. Like, this doesn't matter if you're gonna run, depending on if you have if safety is close or not. But you backing away slowly is gonna make it a lot easier for these dogs. Use a barrier. I thought about using your backpack, but even then, dogs can just probably rip that out of your grasp. Leap over it, go under you, and still get to you, unless your bag is over 5 feet tall, which most and many aren't. So this barrier thing is pretty useless. Fences, dogs can go under and over fences. Use a loud voice, but don't they also say that loud noises can also trigger a dog to attack? Don't they also say that? So, and it's funny how they want you to stay calm, but then they say, use a loud noise, a loud voice. Like that's gonna do anything. No, go away. Dogs don't speak English. They don't understand this. They're still going to attack. We've seen many examples of dogs attacking. Even when the police officer or a pedestrian says, no, go away, shoo, yells, guess what? That dog still attacks. And once a dog is on that person or another animal or another dog, they can't do anything about it. Using your voice does nothing. Or they have to hit the dog, do all these things, use restraints, and it's useless. By the time you can get the dog off, the victim either is dead or has to amputate one of their limbs. Protect yourself. Seek medical attention. And one thing they didn't add here is stand like a tree. A lot of these dog nut advice says you should stand like a tree. So a dog is about to attack or attacking, you stand like a tree. We've seen that happen many times in videos where innocent victims are standing like a tree, they're standing still, and the dog still attacks. So even when we do or do not do these things, dogs will still attack you. So there's really, just based on this, there's really no advice of how to protect yourself from a dog attack. There really isn't. But the best piece of advice is that we should ban these and eliminate these dogs from the face of the earth. That's the way we protect ourselves. Not keep adding these things in the community. That makes no sense. If you know these things are dangerous, they're dangerous. What do? They keep adding them into the community. That's backwards. Makes no sense whatsoever. How to protect your child from aggressive dog at the playground. This could be anywhere. It doesn't even have to be at the playground. You could be on your own property, on the sidewalk. Doesn't matter. And they say, what makes dogs go into a frenzy? Into a frenzy? Lacking in exercise. A lot of these stray dogs we see, all they do is lay there like worthless mutts, and they still attack. Where they can run and do whatever they want, but they lay there looking like garbage, but yet they still attack children. Untrained. It's because the natural state of dogs is unacceptable. That's why you have to train them, because the natural, organic state of these worthless mutts is unacceptable. They know these things are dangerous and can commit a lot of harm to you children. That's why they always say you have to train it. And many times these dog nuts do train it. But guess what? You can still get attacked. So many times this has happened. Pregnant or in heat. So how is that our business? Why attack someone? if you're pregnant or in heat. Like, what? That doesn't make any sense. We have nothing to do with your business. Like when cats, a good example is cats. When cats go through this or whatever, most times, 99% of the time, they're not going to be attacking humans. Rabbits are not going to be attacking humans. Raccoons are not going to be attacking humans. They're not. Only dogs do this. Because again, they're worthless. They're brain damaged mutants. Again, ways you can protect your children or yourself, since you cannot prevent pet owners from bringing their pets at parks and playgrounds, which is true even when it says no dogs allowed. These dog nutters will still trespass and bring their dogs into the park, into the playgrounds, and to places where they don't belong. I think years ago, this dog nutter brought his worthless mud into the splash pad. Seen it a couple times. Children are playing and they're bringing their worthless mud to the splash pads. It's disgusting. Keep an eye on the children at all times. It doesn't matter. Children can be with their parents. The dog can be on a leash. The dog can still attack. Kids, if your kids are already old enough, be taught or trained on how to act in the presence of in the presence of dogs. It is only dogs that are attacking children. Only dogs. There's only a 0.5% chance that another animal is going to be attacking a children. It is always going to be dogs, not cats, not raccoons, not squirrels, not geese, not birds, not ducks, not fish. Always going to be dogs, but they want to use animals. And dogs are not animals. And they're talking about dogs. This is an article about dogs. So why are they bringing up animals? No animal. We're not talking about animals in this discussion. It's ridiculous. The ad again, don't ever run. Keep control of the situation by acting like a leader to the dog, by instructing them to follow. So some random dog you've never fed before, that dog ain't gonna listen to you. Again, the only magic trick to make these dogs listen is to feed the thing. But even that isn't enough. And here comes a stranger kid, a child that the dog has never seen before. The child has never seen dog before. And they want this child, and they want other adults to act like a leader to the dog. But that's not how it works. That's not how it works. That is not how it works at all. They say using an umbrella, use a bag, a bike. This could only work for maybe a few seconds. But that dog will keep coming at you. The dogs are faster, they're more quicker, they're more impulsive, they're more stronger. They're not going to just give up like that, like people do. They're going to keep going at you until they get you. So these could only work for a second. Only a second. And then if if that dog mauls you up and you live, the next thing that you can do is get a dog bite attorney. After all the damage is done. One day you're trying to walk to school, next minute you're in the hospital, next minute you need a dog bite attorney. All this can be prevented. And again, they say prevention. The only way to prevent these things is by getting rid of these dogs in the community. Only way to get rid of these dogs or to prevent dog attacks is by getting rid of them. It makes no sense to keep adding them into the community, because if you keep adding them, That's not really preventing attacks. It isn't. We've seen countless stories of dogs escaping from their dog-let owners, jumping over under fences, attacking on leash, escaping leashes, while with their owner, still attacking natural animals, cats, even other worthless mutts, children, and adults. So the owners have failed. These advice is not good. And the only advice that we really need is to get rid of these dogs. That is the only way we're going to keep these children safe in this school year, is by getting rid of these dogs. I'm scared. I'm a little scared. I'm also going to be going back to school, so I'm a little scared. The reason why is because I have to go to the bus stop. I could drive, but if I drive, that means I have to pay for parking, and parking is very expensive. And the school's not too far, just one bus there, one bus back, so it's not a big deal. But what I'm scared of is the fact that in order for me to get to the bus stop and to get home from the bus stop, is I have to pass a bully breed, a pit bull, that oftentimes that I'll see in the front or maybe backyard. It's a word complex, but I'll say the backyard. And there's just this little fence that contains it. And as we all know and I know, these things can go under and over 20, maybe 30 feet fences with ease. So imagine me walking here, and one day this thing decides to it probably hears about me through the grapevine and decides to come and attack me. I'm scared a little bit. I'm scared. I hate dogs, and I'm scared of dogs. And it's going to be a long couple years. I'll probably drive occasionally. But the fact remains that I have to pass this house that will usually have this dog. Will usually have this dog in the backyard with this worthless fence. I'm scared. I could be at the bus stop, and next thing you know, this thing is loose. And there's really nowhere to go. There's nowhere to go. Some days it's going to be like early morning, and it's going to be early morning, and there's no plazas are going to be open, no nothing. So no safety for me. There's really going to be no safety. I usually, in my car, I'll carry my bat. I have like other things in there that I usually carry for protection. And I don't want to be carrying, it's like a little kiddie metal bat, but I don't want to be carrying this bat to school. It just wouldn't look good. I do have a knife on me, a wallet knife, but same time, that can help me. Yes, it can help me. But there's always that, what if, it isn't, having a knife isn't attack proof. So it's going to be an interesting journey, having to cross this person or this house that will often have this worthless bully breed in the yard. And that's another thing. In Ontario, the bully breeds are supposed to be banned. They're supposed to be banned. But yet, with my own eyes, I've seen many bully breeds, many pit bulls around. So just because a city or state says, or province states or says, pit bulls are banned, it doesn't mean anything, because you're still going to see them around. And the law enforcement isn't going to reinforce it. No one's going to say anything. So these dog nuts are allowed to get away with their foolishness. It's not fair. It is not fair. Not fair for me, and it's not fair for the children having to go back to school and having to deal with this dog, and to deal with any dog. There's a lot of dog nuts here. A lot of dog nuts in the area. Coming from school, after school, recess, lunch, they're all over the place, and no one is safe. Especially, you're going to school and the teachers are dog nuts too. What do they know? Like, what do they know about dogs? I mean, really, they don't know anything about dogs. They see a dog, they think they're probably going to think the dog wants to play. They're probably like, hey, kid, don't run. Go and pet that dog. That's how dog nuts are. They want to force people to be dog nutters. Instead of wanting to keep people safe away from dogs, they endanger them more. These are the same schools that will invite these police dogs into schools. And we've read stories of police dogs invited to school still attacking students. We read stories of police dogs, in playground running and attacking children. We're not safe with these dogs around. We are not safe. The only real way to prevent dog attacks is by eliminating dogs. It's like, how do you prevent, you're running a restaurant. How do you prevent infestation? What you can do is you put things that will kill, get rid, or trap them so you can dispose of those pests somewhere. You don't just keep them there and keep them in a fence and hope they don't attack, or put a leash on them and hope they don't attack. No, that doesn't make any sense. Running a restaurant, you put traps there that'll either kill or trap, contain, and then various people, whoever, will take those and dispose of them or send them elsewhere into the wild. But with dogs, the ways they want us to protect and prevent dog attacks is pretty much to remain endangered, remain vulnerable. All this advice that they're telling us and all this stuff, it's nonsense. None of this protects you from dog attacks. None of this protects you from the trauma. It's not going to protect us or anyone. It hasn't. And they even mentioned that, with all this advice, many, over 4.7 million people are bitten by dogs, or 4.7 million dog bites each year. So this advice isn't preventing much. And it's probably most likely more than this. So this advice, it's useless. Useless. And also remember, asking permission to pet a dog, it doesn't do anything. Does not do anything. The owners of the dogs do not know what the dog is thinking. They are not their dog's keeper. They don't control the dog. They don't. They'll act like they do. They'll act tough and pretentious as if they do, and they're all good and I control the dog. But in reality, excuse my language, but they're just D-bags. They're D-bags. That's what they are. And they're getting a lot of people, a lot of children hurt and killed by these dogs when they don't need them. They don't need these dogs. None. They don't need them. Imagine, people wanting to adopt mice from, let's say, a restaurant, mice from, the dumpster, mice from the subway. And, you get it vaccinated and all that stuff. A lot of people would still call that weird and disgusting. They'll still think it's disgusting. But a lot of these dog nuts want to get stray dogs from various countries and do the exact same thing and bring them into the countries and or adopt them wherever. So how is that not disgusting? But someone who'd want to adopt mice from outside, from a dumpster, they would be called disgusting. They're going to have a pet rat or pet mouse. They're going to name that mouse. They're gonna like let the mouse sleep on them. Hold that mouse. People call that disgusting, whether alone you wash it, give it its vaccine or medication, it's still disgusting. So people getting stray dogs, dogs in general, but stray dogs, bring them into the country, bring them into your home, whether it's vaccinated, medicated, it is still disgusting. But you see here, children, in dog culture, it's about protecting and pushing the dog propaganda on the people. I believe there's a lot of agendas behind it. I think this dog propaganda is part of the depopulation agenda. So yeah, it's just one factor, but there's also other factors with it. So remember, when your parents get a dog or have a dog, you know, they will prioritize when it comes down to it. Burning house, you and the dog, 99% sure that they're going to save the dog first or only before they save you. But anyways, for those of you going back to school, already started school, please be safe, please be vigilant. I don't want to say protect yourself from dog attacks, because the only way to protect yourself from dog attacks is by eliminating these dogs. Just like mice in these restaurants, only way to protect yourself from these mice is to eliminate the mice. So, only way to prevent and protect ourselves is to have us all chip in to eliminate, stop owning, and let's start banning these dogs from the planet Earth. Anyways, go to Dog Butcher. Another worthless mutts, and please help popularize dog hatred.